Hello, everybody. This is IGGY'S,
And I'm Peter Vivas.
and you're listening to Pineapple Chunks.
And today we also have a special guest. His name is Iggy. Say what's up, Iggy.
Hey guys, what's going on?
He joins us every now and then on our podcast. He's a really good friend of ours. You should also check out a recent episode we did on the Peter Vivas podcast with him. Just a bunch of shenanigans.
Yeah, he's a super cool guy. Today, we're going to talk about AI in the future of business. AI is something we hear
AI.
pretty regularly every day now. It's a huge buzzword. It's in everyone's mouths, and it's in every businessman's mouth. But why is AI becoming so popular now all of a sudden? AI's been around for decades. I mean, we've been trying out AI things here and there for years, probably since the 70s or 80s. But it's now that it's becoming so popular and so widely implemented in so many business ventures. AI is very popular nowadays because we have the computing processing speed to actually handle all the data that AI needs to become efficient and profitable. Right, back then we didn't really have fast computing power, but now we have cloud computation. And with cloud computation and big data forms a great combination for AI to learn from. And so businesses are now seeing this come into fruition, and they're trying to implement it into all their products. We have things like IoT into regular everyday products. We have things like software that is using AI to better assist customers. And AI is also being used in sex robots nowadays. We have our new sex brothels opening up in Texas where they have sex robots. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff that AI is getting into.
I mean, there's definitely, and also there's a part of economics. There's definitely a lot of jobs. You know, a lot of people are gonna dive into them. A lot of people that are gonna see this attractive. You know, the whole thing about AI, and the whole world about IoT, and how from the toaster to the fridge to, I don't know, to even who knows, even your fingerprint to the entire house, you know, in the future. And it's a really fascinating world, you know. But at the same time, there always are questions and doubts about what can that lead into, you know. Will that do us good or will that do us bad? You know, and I think there's a lot of marketing behind this movement of IoT and, like, you know, 5G.
Especially for our age group, it's like been a no-brainer. It almost feels like a no-brainer for us.
Yeah, exactly. Especially, well, I mean, we were born in the 90s, right? So we actually grew up, like, playing pinball offline, at least me, you know, like with my dad's PC, like back in the day.
I grew up like... Actually, I went to Chuck E. Cheese's.
Me too, bro.
Chuck E. Cheese's.
That shit was fire, man. I had a great time there, man. Because it was all video games.
But I was already expecting, like, through Facebook and, like, through just Google and, like, the internet as a whole, that there was going to be, like, a form of personalization, or personalization automatically through the computer was possible. Because, like, you know, I would just, like, get online and a website was made. And so, and that wasn't me.
Right.
So I just assumed it was the computer. So I think it's, for me, like, I hear about all this AI stuff and I'm like, of course.
Yeah. But it's like
why not?
Yeah. But then
We're so far from real intellectual AI, though.
No, absolutely. And then you see where that has gone in terms of our complacency, you know, and, like, our comfortable lifestyle. How we actually opt more to, like, chill and, like, play video games. And, like, you know, just, like, and especially through this quarantine, we've actually gotten accustomed to that. It's actually been pushed. And I'm talking more about, like, just being able to just be okay with not doing anything, you know. And that's what the new generations you're seeing a lot about, and not a lot of people with motivation and the need to seek for something, you know, because we have everything out of our fingerprints.
Oh, but I'm not cool with that, though, like, at all. Like, I don't know, like, the fact that there are some people who aren't, like willing to do anything during the day, is like, that doesn't jive right with me. I mean, if it makes life easier, great. But if it makes you, like, not do anything, I know there's a vast majority of people who, like, just get up in the morning and don't want to do anything. So,
I mean, it is the average, but there are a lot of people out there, and even more nowadays with social media, and just pushing this new, like, I guess to say the word wokeness, but in a healthy way, you know, which is like to empower yourself and do something greater. And what Jordan Peterson says, first thing you do, you wake up, you make your bed. Jordan Peterson.
Oh, Jordan.
Yeah, the psychologist. He's been like a great speaker. He's come up in like the past 4 or 5 years or something, you know, and now he's like kind of off the grid for a bit. Well, he's been out for a bit, you know. He's been having some issues, personal issues and shit. But yeah, great guy.
Isn't his daughter like a sex worker?
I don't know.
No. She's like an Instagram thought, actually.
Okay, that's a big jump right there, dude.
I was just trying to remember it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a sex worker.
You can make the comments go wild right now, dude. All right, keep it down.
But wasn't the daughter like a sex worker or something, or a Instagram thought? I mean,
I'm not sure. That's a big jump, but maybe. I mean, he is a pretty open-minded guy, you know. I mean,
On Instagram.
no, he's I guess kind of.
yeah, he kind of is. I mean, but he was also he was actually also invited to like talk with like big tech companies and like low key and these like I think it was the Bilderberg meeting or like one not the big Bilderberg meeting, but one of these like other secret like meetings they do in the US, and he was invited to talk about our generation and how it is to kind of like explain it to the top of the pyramid in a way, you know. So he's a little bit in between, you know. I still haven't figured out what he is. Same thing with Elon Musk, to be honest, you know. He's been the good guy, but also, oh man, Neuralink, the thing that's been going on in China, they've been testing prisoners on with Neuralink.
Really?
And shit. Yeah, man. There's this what's it called? There's this when you go to Congress, yeah, I have it. What's it called? There's a court, right, talking against Tesla, Neuralink, Google, Alphabet, Hillary Clinton. A lot of like politicians and big tech companies against human like what's it called, like
Test trials.
yeah, test trials against like humans and violating like basic human
Right.
like
It's unethical.
yeah, exactly. And like you go down because I suck at recalling. So anyways, you go down reading and they explain how like Neuralink would practice their devices on like Chinese prisoners because there's still concentration camps in China, and how Alphabet was also like would provide like a lot of like software for like the Communist Party, you know. And anyways, it's just like a deep hole. I don't know if we should talk about this, but yeah.
Right. You have people like Elon Musk who wants the human species to merge with AI, but then you have a bunch of other people that just want AI to be its own separate entity.
Yes.
So that humans get devalued at the end of the day, right? Because robots can just do everything. But by no means we're anywhere near Westworld days. But I can definitely see Chuck E. Cheese implementing some AI to entertain your kids, so you can go get drunk and have pizza with your friends. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. I want to talk more about the future of AI, and as it gets more sophisticated, how businesses won't have a need for normal people to pay them for scaling their business, right? I mean, once AI can do most of the legwork, the valuing people isn't going to be existent. Right, and then you have the division between intelligence and consciousness, and you come to realize that you don't really need consciousness to scale your business. All you need is intelligence, which is something AI is willing to provide. As for merging with AI, like Elon Musk's Neuralink, I can see that working out. I can see that being a really cool revolution and next step in the species of Homo sapiens, if we would even call ourselves Homo sapiens at that point. I think it'd be really cool to be able to process a bunch of information and data in a split second myself, right? Just because of a chip in my brain, using what it was, it uses frequencies or electrodes. I'm not entirely sure about the technology behind it, but I know it's getting close, and I know it's been shown to work, even if it's for a short amount of time. I know people in the military are using it to help their fighters be more agile and focused when they're shooting enemies. But what do you know about it?
No. I just like to think about it. You know,
Okay.
contemplate the idea of AI merging with our brain. You know, and think about even now the the studies that we're getting on like the harmful radiations of EMF. You know, with all like the cell phone towers, and like it's even common knowledge that people don't want to live near cell phone towers. You know, because it really does affect the way that you live. Um, so, anyways,
But I don't feel any different being around like a cell phone tower by Wi-Fi. I don't notice any differences.
because
You have a point of reference.
exactly.
But like I've slept with my phone like on airplane mode, and then like slept with my phone off airplane mode, and haven't felt different.
But you have your other brother's phones.
Oh yeah, that's right. My other brother's phones. At least said that my other brother's phones.
Yes, those are and they're very powerful. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's very hard to do these practices. I mean, and that's why a lot of people have a hard time sleeping. You know, and dude, like sleeping pills is like one of the most like sold pills in America, probably. You know what I mean? Like crazy, like out of my top of my head, but probably, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and at the end of the day, why we don't look into ourselves, and like even the phone is ourselves. So like we overlook it. You know what I mean? We overlook it to the point, and this has been a thing in history for the longest time. Like you don't realize the harms that you're doing on yourself until you look back into the past. You know what I mean? Same thing with like the whole thing on tobacco, bro. Or I don't know, communism. Countries don't end up in shit because they want to. It's just someone that has the idea puts it in practice in such a brilliant way that people feed on it slowly but surely. You know what I mean, so you overlook it until like boom, it hits you hard. You know, so I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today too. Hindsight is always 2020.
Dude,
Also, it's super
2020,
annoying hearing people say that.
2020.
Hindsight's 2020.
That is a great topic of conversation, to be honest.
I hear people say that a lot, but it's like
hindsight. They said hindsight.
no hindsight. Like, so I mean, it makes sense though, but I'm pro all this technology stuff. I mean, whatever. We can't stop it at the end of the day. And but I would love to have a chip in my brain or a device where it could like communicate with my thoughts, and I could tell, you know, I don't know, Python or something, some coding language to go ahead and find, you know, correlative search terms to, you know, certain products, like whether it be Doritos or to Apple iPhones to AirPods, and try to get like an edge on like investing decisions, or just like immediately know where the closest gas station actually, I mean, gas stations are going to be irrelevant by this time, so it doesn't even matter. Or electric vehicle stations are to like, you know, pump up my car. Or just because it's like at that point, like you just know what the internet knows. And what does the internet know? Pretty much everything that humans have not been able to answer yet. No, I'm sorry. Everything that humans have been able to answer, and then the things that we can't answer, you know, the computers are still.
Do you think there are still things left unanswered?
Yeah, there are so many. I mean, we haven't even explored most of the ocean. We know more about space than the ocean.
Why do we have to inject external things into us in order to keep evolving?
Well, I don't know if it's to keep evolving. I just think we're really bored and we need to figure out things to do. And also some of us have a calling. Like some of us have this weird. Some I've heard some people say that they have voices in their head. They have God talking to them, or like, you know, or whatever it is that people. I mean, I think people have just are so complex that it's not even worth asking why or like these things. How it's interesting to ask why, but I think it's like wow. I don't know. It's just moving. It just is.
Yeah.
You know, but it's definitely such a fascinating idea to have, like, you know, to see Elon Musk doing something or putting so much effort into trying to get, you know, us to become more and more cyborgs. And so I'm super pro cyborg, big data, and computer generation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of done with AI conversation. It's so dust. I I feel like AI conversation is so dust. Like I know it's so important, but like they're so overused because more and more people like realize how much like they don't know about AI. Like nobody really knows that much about AI unless you're like really working on the front lines, and like just one of those conversations. It's like so overdone.
But AI will never take humanity, like, for sure.
Maybe.
Nah, dude. Like the way I've always seen it is like in nature, the creator can never be destroyed by something that it creates. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. But AI is like more of like a Darwinian situation.
no, dude, because I think that you just unplug the cord. That's it. Why? Because you are the one who made it, and you made it off this thing that if there's an EMP somewhere, electromagnetic pulse, or I think that's what it's called, electromagnetic bomb. Everything is gone, bro. Everything is gone.
I don't think it will completely eradicate humanity, but I do think it will eradicate the grand majority that doesn't really provide value because they don't really have a usefulness in the workforce anymore. I think the people that are implementing it and creating it and making a lot of money from it are still going to be relevant, and they're not going to be affected from AI at all in their lives because, well, they're in charge. But for the people that depend on jobs to whom AI is taking control of, then that demographic is fucked.
Okay, I feel you. I mean, and you
I
have a point.
respectfully disagree, though. I don't think that certain people are out of the question. Fuck.
But no,
I think we're all in the same boat on this case.
there are jobs that are gonna become like obsolete with AI.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there are jobs right now that are obviously like coal miners. Like,
But that has a bright side, bro. All those jobs are useless jobs in the future. Like, we have to evolve. We have to become smarter. So, but also the education system is making us dumber by putting us in poverty. But jobs are gonna become more and more like elaborate in a way, you know, because we are evolving and everything's becoming more sophisticated. That is the truth, man. I agree. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. You know what I mean? It's and you know what? And actually, that has a bright side to it because that gives you a lot of free time. Yeah, I mean, to find other jobs, to find other alternatives, bro. And
but there are some people. I mean, I think there's a bigger problem, and the problem hits like amongst the older demographic, where there's like the best quote I could ever relate this topic to is, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, especially old dogs that are like 70. And like we're coal miners and just taught to be coal miners, or people who've worked in industries that like you can't really teach them new things. And there are towns in the United States that are just like, it's unbelievable how there's still even towns and people living there, and like with the amount of income that they have, and it's wild. So I think there's the real challenge here that at least people in the United States, I don't know, and I guess Canada too, but is like how we're gonna be able to like take care of all these older individuals too during a time where, you know, getting a new job isn't necessarily an option for you. And this whole idea of universal basic income is like similar to what Social Security was back when FDR was around, which is a fascinating thing that's happening right now. I mean, there's so many, programs right now that just scream democratic socialism because of the time of or just the situation requires it. Hey everyone, Peter here. You just listened to Pineapple Chunks. If you want to reach out and send some facts in or learn more about the show, send me a DM through Instagram, Peter Vivas with 3 S's, PeterVivasSS. Thank you so much, and please tune in to the next episode next week.